this is another question that I really want to answer for people. So, NPCs do not exist. They are a made-up psyop that was implanted by Jeffrey Epstein and friends. We now know, because of the Jeffrey Epstein files, right, that they have planted a lot of different types of stories on Reddit, on QAnon pages. They have manipulated a lot of different types of things to freak people out and dehumanize people, including reptilians. They seeded that, guys, into our subconscious brains, and that's why people are like running off with it. It was the elites that planted that story so we would dehumanize them, basically, and cause harm, and then they could cause harm back to us. That's the point of doing that. Same thing with the NPC conversation. There is no such thing as an NPC. No such thing. They do not exist. Every person down here has a soul, has a consciousness, is a fractal of God. I know that's really hard to believe. I think about the people in like the Appalachian Mountains. I'm like, okay, how am I also them? You know what I'm saying? It's like, how are we the same? People who are like, but it's because they were deeply, deeply neglected their entire lives. If we nurture people's consciousness and souls, we all end up like this. So that's why it's hard for people to believe like that NPCs don't exist, because there are people out there that are so different. But it's not those people's faults, it's the system's fault that they are like that. They have been systematically defunded and poor and not educated and not cared for, and nobody was really looking out for them. And so all this dysfunction was allowed to just continue on and on and on for generations. And that's who we call NPCs, are like just deeply dysfunctional human beings, or human beings who don't really seem to have like the same type of like, I don't know, same type of like thoughts or beliefs or things like that. And it's just not true. It's just not true. They just weren't nurtured correctly. Like, they just weren't taken care of. Like, I do believe that most people are extremely intelligent and are capable of the same things as everybody else. It's just that they need special help to get there. They need extra nurturing, they need extra care, and they've been deeply neglected. And so as a whole country, we have all over the globe, we have issues like this. NPCs are a psyop to dehumanize your fellow humans. I know that's kind of a hard concept to come to terms with, but that is what I've been told, and that is what I believe in my heart and soul. I don't believe in dehumanizing people whatsoever. I think the NPC conversation, as well as the reptilian conversations, have gotten way out of hand. I think that people are latching onto these things because, and I don't understand why people latch onto this either, because it's like, it's really rude. It's really mean to like say that somebody like isn't existing the same way that you are. It's like, it's to like say that they're just like these like robots that like don't even have emotions and aren't even human. It's like, okay, that again, or like reptilians, like, well, we're Pleiadians, we're Orions, we're Lyrans, and we don't shapeshift, and we don't dehumanize ourselves. So why are we going to dehumanize people just because they're different than us? Now, again, this is really difficult for people to conceptualize, because people we call NPCs or reptilians often are doing damage or harm to other people. That's usually who we refer to as that energy. And so it's like, it's a slippery slope to start dehumanizing people that aren't like us, even if they're causing harm or damage to other people, because that's what they do to us. That's how they're able to justify their harm towards us, is by dehumanizing us. Jeffrey Epstein and friends called us Goyim and believed they were elites above people. And it's like, the polarity of that is that we are chosen people, 144,000 light workers, starseeds, all that stuff, but we don't dehumanize people. And we view people as human beings who are deserving of love, nurturing, care, and respect. And I truly believe that every human being deserves the ability to show that. And unfortunately, that's going to take a lot of rehabilitation, a lot of healing, and that is why the aliens are coming down. Because there's a lot of people here we can see who need help, who have been deeply, deeply neglected. And this dysfunction has been allowed to go on. And unfortunately, they have developed in ways that are unhealthy and seem non-human, right? And so, that is what I get about NPCs. I highly encourage people to get away from even using that term. I highly encourage people to look at people as humans, even if you don't understand them. Again, this is what we do to trans people because we don't understand trans people. We just, as a society, completely shit all over them and make them feel like trash and make them feel all sorts of different types of ways because a lot of people don't really understand them. But that's, as a society, we need to learn that if we don't understand people, we don't then dehumanize them, judge them, make them feel less than. We try to understand them. We try to help them then. We try to humanize them. We try to get them to be in a place where they can function like normal human beings and be creative and be loving and be caring and be kind and be nurturing and not just kind of be like robotic or like not there all the way, you know? But a lot of people are in pain. They're suffering deeply. Neglect can do a number on a human being. And so suffering can cause maladaptive human behaviors. And that's what we're seeing. With the elite people who are doing bad things as well. All those people have gone through suffering of some kind. We don't know exactly what their suffering is, but you don't just end up that way, you know, just with a beautiful normal life. And if you watch even like Trump's like family's like interviews, like his mother seems like a psychopath, you know, like that kind of stuff. So it's like you can already see that there is an origin as to why people have developed in the ways that they have. And we need to help people undo that. And that was just because we're in a stage of the exploration away from God. But now we're moving into a phase of exploring towards God. We're aligning ourselves towards God, and that's what we do. We help people align themselves towards God, and we have like our work cut out from us. Like I've been told this is going to be a 10 to 20 year healing timeline, and that some people are going to take a lot longer to heal than other people, and it's all based on their contracts and things like that. So this is how I feel about the NPC conversation. I'm seeing it a lot on my posts. So as I continue to see it, I will continue to make videos talking about it because I feel very strongly about this subject, that we should not dehumanize people and that we need to work together and come together to help each other. Even the people that are like the worst of the worst, like I just, again, with my downloads and stuff, I've come to this like metacognition understanding of the fact that this was all contracted and God designed it this way. And yes, it's really hard to accept and believe and anchor into that. But once you do, it helps you humanize people again. Because you're like, okay, well, God just designed these people this way. And he didn't make a mistake. And this is what these people agreed to. And you know, God designed me this way, and he designed me to be loving and caring and compassionate and kind and understanding and trying to help people. And so that's what I'm going to anchor into, is the gifts that God gave me. And I'm not really going to focus on what God has or has not done for other people. I'm going to focus on myself and what I can cultivate within myself and how I can spread my light and my love into the world. And I can do that by trying to comprehend and understand even the most uncomprehendable, the most misunderstood people in society, because I know what it feels like to be misunderstood, and it feels really, really bad, and it really hurts, and it's very painful. And so I don't want to cause that for other people. So I'm going to be the opposite of that. I'm going to be the polarity to that.